Okay, so you know all about these drone things, right? The ones flying over Jersey and even into New York City now.
Yeah, they've been all over the news.
Exactly. So much speculation, but no real answers. We're going to try and change that today.
Sounds
We've
good.
got this Newsweek article and like a whole Reddit thread blowing up about it. We'll take a look at those and see if we can figure out what's actually going on with these drones.
What I thought was really interesting was in the Newsweek article,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
it kind of lays out this whole timeline going back to like November
Wow.
when these things started popping up all over New Jersey.
Mm.
But that's where they're showing up that's got everyone kind of freaked out.
What do you mean, like specific places?
Yeah, they're flying near all these sensitive locations.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I've heard that term thrown around a lot, but
Right.
what exactly makes a place sensitive in this context?
Well, basically, think about anything super important to national security or
Yeah.
infrastructure.
Oh, okay.
So like Picatinny Arsenal,
Yeah.
which is a major U.S. military base. They do research and manufacturing there.
Makes sense.
And get this,
Yeah.
even Trump's golf course in Bedminster.
What? Really?
Yeah, apparently because he's a former president, there's got to be a ton of security around the place.
I guess that makes sense.
Right.
So you've got these mystery drones flying around places that really shouldn't have unauthorized aircraft anywhere near them.
Exactly.
So what have the authorities actually done about this?
Well, it's kind of been a mixed bag, honestly.
Mhm.
The FAA did step in and put some temporary flight restrictions over certain areas.
Really?
Yeah, which is not something they do every day.
That's got to be a sign that they're taking this seriously, right?
Yeah, and the FBI is investigating too,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously means they're not messing around.
I mean, Governor Murphy even made a statement about it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and even the local police have said something about it.
Wow. So everyone's involved, but
No one's saying anything.
I know, right? We're looking into it. But no one will say what they actually know.
So annoying.
I think they're trying to avoid saying anything that would,
Tip their hand.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that just makes people even more curious,
And suspicious.
of course.
It's like they think the government's hiding something.
And they probably are.
Which brings us to Newsweek's Reddit thread.
Oh, yeah. This is where things get fun.
The UFO subreddit is going crazy over this. People are throwing out all kinds of theories.
Well, they're definitely not buying the whole we don't know anything line.
Nope. Not one bit. There's so much distrust.
Yeah, some are even comparing it to like 9/11.
Seriously.
Like they feel like the government isn't telling them the truth about a potential threat.
I can kind of see where they're coming from.
It makes sense if you think about it. These aren't just some random drones flying over an empty field.
Right.
They're near major cities and like important stuff.
Right.
No one knows who's flying them or why.
It's like straight out of a movie or something.
Right.
Okay, so what are some of these crazy theories people are coming up with?
Well, there's a bunch of them ranging from kind of believable to totally out there.
Give me the highlights.
Okay. Well, one is that it's the government themselves.
Our government.
Yeah. Maybe they're testing new drone tech, even AI-powered ones.
Okay, so if it is our own government, why all the secrecy? Why not just tell people what's up?
Right. That's the big question, isn't it? Maybe they don't want to tip off other countries about our fancy new tech.
That makes sense.
Or maybe they're worried about causing a panic if people knew they were testing out some kind of controversial tech.
Oh, yeah, good point.
But then you got people saying it's foreign countries like China or Russia using these drones to spy on us or even getting ready for an attack.
Like international espionage.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty wild when you think about it.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, how would they even pull that off without getting caught? This isn't exactly the middle of nowhere.
That's true. Then there's the theories about like super rich companies.
Oh, you mean like tech companies?
Yeah, maybe they're the ones with this crazy advanced tech and they're trying to keep it a secret.
I mean, with how fast drone tech is moving these days, it's not that far-fetched.
Exactly.
So we've got government testing, foreign spies, and corporate secrets. What else?
Oh, and then there's the really out there stuff.
Like what?
Like some people think it's a rogue defense contractor.
What does that even mean?
Like someone working for a company that makes weapons for the government.
Okay.
But they're like going rogue, trying to force the government to tell everyone about UFOs or some other top secret tech they're hiding.
Oh my God. That would be insane.
Right.
Okay, so we've got the official story, which is basically no story. And then we've got all these crazy theories.
Yep.
But let's look at the actual evidence.
Yeah, let's get into the details. That's where things get really interesting. It's kind of crazy when you think about just how many of these drone sightings there have been.
Right. It's not just like one or two isolated incidents.
Exactly. It's been going on for months.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Even into different states now.
That does make you wonder about how they're pulling this off.
Yeah, like how much planning and resources would it take to coordinate something like this?
You're telling me this isn't some kid messing around with a drone in their backyard.
Definitely not. It's got to be a pretty big operation, whether it's the government or a private company or who knows what.
You mentioned a private company.
Yeah.
We always think about drones in like a military kind of way, but
Right?
companies are getting pretty good with drone tech too.
They really are.
Yeah.
Like Amazon and Google are pouring tons of money into drone delivery systems.
It's true. I mean, the technology is changing so fast.
Exactly. So it's totally possible that a company with enough money could make drones that are way more advanced than anything we've seen before.
Hmm. So then what would be the point of flying these super drones near these sensitive
Well,
places?
think about it. What if they're trying to get a leg up on the competition?
You mean like spying on other companies?
Maybe? Or like testing out security systems to see if they can break in?
Like a cyber attack?
Could be. It gets pretty scary when you start thinking about what they could do with that kind of access.
It's like something out of a sci-fi book. Big corporations with crazy tech running around doing whatever they want.
Yeah, kinda. But we also can't forget about the whole foreign country thing.
Right. Like what if it's China or Russia?
Exactly. If it was them, you'd think they'd be targeting places that would give them valuable intel.
Oh, so like military bases.
Yeah, or research labs or places that are important for our infrastructure.
So basically places like Picatinny Arsenal.
Bingo plus. Remember what Governor Murphy said about how the drones disappear as soon as someone sees them.
Oh, yeah. That was creepy.
If they're that good at hiding, it definitely makes you think they could be from a country with a lot of resources.
Okay, so that's foreign countries.
Yeah.
But what about our own government?
Right.
Could they be doing this and just not telling anyone?
It's possible. Maybe they don't want other countries to know about our top secret drone tech.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're afraid of causing a panic if people knew what they were up to.
That makes sense. But wouldn't it be better to just tell people they're testing stuff? I mean, wouldn't that be less scary than everyone freaking out and making up crazy theories?
You'd think so, right? But sometimes governments are weird. They'd rather just do what they want to do and apologize later if they have to.
It's true. They probably figure it's better to deal with some angry people than to risk their secret tech getting out.
Something like that.
Mm.
But the problem is when they don't tell anyone anything, it just makes people suspicious.
And that's why we have all these wild conspiracy theories.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're feeding the fire by being so secretive.
So we've got the government being super vague, and then we have all these unconfirmed reports about stuff like a drone crash
And
and
the car clock thing.
don't forget the car club.
I mean, come on, that's just too weird.
I know, I can't get over that one. Is there even any way a drone could actually mess with electronics like that?
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, drones are electronic devices themselves.
Right.
So they give off electromagnetic fields. And depending on the frequency, those fields could potentially interfere with other electronics.
Oh, like how your phone sometimes messes with your car radio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if a drone really did change someone's car clock,
It's just so specific.
it would mean those drones have some serious tech on board.
Yeah.
Like way beyond anything you'd see in a normal drone.
This is seriously starting to feel like a movie. Unidentified drones, government secrets, weird stuff happening. It's all a bit much.
I know. It's definitely exciting. But we got to remember we don't have all the facts yet.
Right. It's easy to get carried away with all the what ifs.
Exactly. We have to try and stick to what we actually know and not jump to conclusions.
So where do we go from here? We've talked about the facts, we've looked at all the theories, we've even gotten a little bit into the paranormal.
Yeah, I think now it's time to figure out the why.
The why.
Yeah, like what's the motivation behind all this? What's the point? And what does it mean for us regular people who are stuck in the middle of it all?
Okay, so we've talked about a lot with these drone things. Eyewitness accounts, official statements that don't really tell us much, and theories about everything from government testing to companies spying on each other to stuff that sounds like it's straight out of the X-Files.
It's pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what's really going on.
Totally. I don't know if we'll ever get all the answers, but I think it's important to think about what this all means.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like one thing that really stands out to me is how fast misinformation can spread.
Yeah, especially when the people in charge aren't being upfront about things.
Exactly. And we see how that lack of info just leads to all these crazy theories. Some more believable than others, of course.
It's a good reminder to really think critically about everything we hear and see.
Right. We can't just take everything at face value. Got to look for evidence and question what we're being told.
It's so true. We're constantly bombarded with info from everywhere these days. Social media, the news, even from our own friends and family.
It's easy to get caught up in it all and start believing things without really thinking about it.
It's like that saying, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes.
Exactly. And these drones are a perfect example. The government's not being transparent, and that just creates distrust and fear,
It makes people think they're hiding something.
which they probably are.
Yeah.
But it also makes you think about the role of technology in all of this.
Yeah. Whether it's the government or a company or whoever, they've got access to some pretty crazy tech.
Right. It's both amazing and kind of scary at the same time.
It's like we're living in a sci-fi movie, but it's real life.
And I think it's important to talk about the ethics of all this new technology.
Definitely. Like, who should be allowed to use it? What are they using it for? What does it mean for our privacy and security?
Well, these are questions we need to be asking.
Yeah, it's not just about watching things happen. We need to be involved in shaping how this technology is used.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to demand transparency and hold those in power accountable.
Well said. So as we wrap up our deep dive into this drone mystery, I want to leave everyone with a question to think about. If these drones really are made by people, and that's still a big if, what's the reason for all the secrecy?
What are they trying to hide?
Is it just national security? Or is there something else going on that they don't want us to know about?
That's a good question. It makes you think that maybe they don't always have our best interests at heart.
It's definitely a reminder to stay informed and keep asking questions. Don't just accept things blindly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to be critical thinkers and demand transparency from those in power.
We may never know the whole truth about these drones, but at least we've learned some important things along the way.
That's for sure.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. Until next time.